Welcome to Earl Stewart on Cars.
If an insurance company totals a car, then the title so reflects it. So let's say your car got flooded and you called your insurance company. They buy you a new car, they total the car, and now you've got a car that's scrap. They take the car and theoretically they sell it to a scrap dealer. But sometimes scrap dealers don't buy them. Sometimes unscrupulous dealers buy them. Then they take the car to one of about 13 states. Vermont is the nearest state to us. In Vermont, you can re-register that car, and it will not have a total on it. It will not be show as a flood car. There's 13 states in the country that will do that. We have the list in my dealership because when people trade cars in on those 13 states, if we see a title from one of those states, because we're in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, we're being extremely careful to check those cars out. You can, and we can, and any person that understands automobiles, you can examine a car and you can find out if it has flood damage. One other thing that comes to mind when you talk about insurance companies and totaling cars, sometimes these insurance companies, you got to fight with them. You should always fight with an insurance company that will not total a car that has water damage. Water, especially here in South Florida, salt water is even worse, but any kind of water is terrible. When you get water into the electrical system of a car, it's like a ticking time bomb. Actually, what happens, you can dry the car out sometimes, and it'll run just fine. And insurance companies say, hey, there's nothing wrong with this car. If the car got wet up above the area where, like, your fuse box is in the dash, you can rest assured that car will never be the same. They've got to total those type of cars. So that's another example. Some cars are not totaled, but they had flood damage anyway, and that's a good reason to look at the car carefully, a used car especially, or new car, because a lot of those cars that were flooded in Sandy were new cars off the dealer's lots. That is a huge boon to a lot of unscrupulous people. A lot of those were exported. There's a lot of people in South America that are being taken advantage of right now. The unscrupulous people love to have these flood cars because you can buy them for nothing. You can buy a salvage car for $300 and you can turn around and sell it for $50,000. You take a flooded Cadillac, new Cadillac that sells for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. You can sell that for $50,000. It costs you $500. And that's the type of thing that does go on. We're being very careful now in the wake of Sandy because there's a lot of those out there. Somebody estimated there were like 250,000 cars that were affected by Sandy. I don't think anybody really knows. They know the ones that went through insurance, but what about the ones that never went through insurance? You can have a car that was in a flood and runs fine for a year, and you trade it in, and the next guy gets it. We even had a new car that we got from another dealer in Fort Lauderdale that had some damage, and we don't know how that damage happened. Interior was rusting, and we spotted it right away, and we were able to get some help from Toyota, although it wasn't under warranty. But salt water damage is just absolutely the worst thing you can do to a car.